Hey guys, welcome to my first ever video on how to edit. Today we're going to be making a thumbnail like the Russian Badger. As you can see, this is the final product and a lot of people have been asking me how to make this. First off, this is going to probably be an intermediate level of editing, so if you don't really know what you're doing, you're going to have to probably look up other tutorials on how to do certain things. But I will be providing the files for this project, so that way you guys can see what I did, and you can also just look at the file if you need help. To start, you're going to need SourceFilmMaker, which is free. You can get it from Steam. Just search up SourceFilmMaker and install it, and then we're going to go ahead and open up SourceFilmMaker. So once you open up SourceFilmMaker, it'll say no map loaded. You're going to right click and you're going to go ahead and add the map that I add, which is black void. All you do is just type in black and it should pop up. After you select the map, it'll say loading map at the top. Whenever the map is loaded, it's just going to be black like it was before, but you're going to need the map so that way you can edit. Make sure that you right click in the window and enable the lighting and make sure that it is on. You will need it to be on. Next, you're going to go ahead and go back to your Steam library and you're going to click on SourceFilmMaker, go to Workshop, and you're going to go ahead and search up green screen panels and you're going to subscribe to this. Next, you're going to go ahead and type in Rainbow Six Siege and you're going to find whatever model you want to use for your thumbnail. For this specific thumbnail, I'm going to be using Visual. So now you'll go back into SF Film. You'll right click under the animation set editor and you'll select create animation set for a new model. And you'll search up screen and you're going to go down here and find 1024.mdl and you're going to double click it or open it. Whenever you open it, you need to click on it in the top left and then go ahead and go down to the bottom and click the rotation icon and you're going to go ahead and rotate it like I do. Keep in mind at the bottom right it says work camera. Make sure you have that selected and you can move around with WASD while clicking on the viewport window, and that's how you basically just move around. All you want to do here really is just kind of make it straight. Whenever I had it positioned to where it takes up the full viewport screen of just green, I'm going to go ahead and go over to the left and right click and add another model and you will search up whatever model you subscribe to. I subscribe to Visual, so I'll type in Visual and I will open them up into the viewport as well. Make sure that you stay on the work camera and you're going to fly around and find out where he is. So at this angle, I just click on the model itself in the top left, which is Visual, and it shows him in the viewport and it should select him like so. There are no arrows around his body. Make sure you select this tool and move him towards the green screen. Make sure that you select camera 1 as well and move it up towards the model. And you want it to take up the full screen like I have, to where it shows the model and the green screen behind it. Whenever you got him relatively in the same position like I do, you're going to go ahead and go to the left and we're going to create a new light. Whenever you have the light selected, you're going to drag and drop it into the viewport. This will allow you to move the light around. So basically, you are the light moving around. Essentially, the light is a camera. Wherever you move the light is where it will shine. Next, we're going to switch off from the light and go to camera 1 and move the camera 1 to the point of where it looks like this. Next, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the lighting settings due to the fact that it's making this really bright, and I want to go ahead and lower that to where it looks really good for just a thumbnail. You can mess around with it however you like, just make it not look so damn bright. Now I will go back to camera 1 to adjust my camera a little bit better. Wherever you put the model, whether it be on the left hand side or the right hand side of the screen, that is where the model will be positioned for the thumbnail. So make sure that you have him on the left hand side, right hand side, whatever side you want, or even the middle, it doesn't matter. In addition, camera 1 is the camera that the model will render to. So make sure that wherever camera 1 is, it has both the green screen and the model in a good position. Now if you think this video is already complicated, it's about to get a whole lot more complicated because this is probably the hardest part of the video. Therefore, you gotta pay kind of close attention to what you're doing and just kind of follow through what I say here. In the animation set editor, you have a drop down of where the character is, and below it, it has face, body, arms, fingers, legs, and unknown. This is how you're going to pose the model for the thumbnail. So you have to actually move around the parts of the character so that way you can pose him how you want him to. Keep in mind, I am switching from my work camera and camera 1. So make sure you keep camera 1 on the character in the green screen at all times. Do not move camera 1. And all you're really going to be moving is the work camera. The work camera is there so that way you can move around however you want to, so that way you can see what you're doing. And you basically just switch back and forth from work camera and camera 1. Also, I'm just going to be using the rotation tool. Whatever you do, don't use the move tool on the character unless you're trying to manipulate him in a certain way, which you shouldn't really worry about. After I'm done getting the character's pose, I'm going to go ahead and add a model that I want to use on character. So in this instance, I used a bullet. From here, I had to actually scale the bullet down and move it in front of the model. In addition, I also had to move the character's hand so that way it was positioned to where he could look at the bullet. This takes time as you will have to use the move tool and the rotation tool at the same time, so this part might be a little bit frustrating. Damn, look how big that bullet is. The best way to come up with a thumbnail idea is really just to look up images of poses, or you can just go ahead and go off your head and figure out what you want. So if you want the character to hold a gun, you're going to have to find a gun model and subscribe to it, and then you're just going to put it in there and basically move it to where it fits in the model's hands. So here I actually have to move his hand, and I also have to rotate the bullet to where it fits his hand, and I also move his eyes to face the direction, and his head, his neck, and everything, so that way he's facing down at the bullet. Before we export, right click in the viewport window and apply these settings as I do. Once you're done creating the model, you're going to go to File, Export, Poster, Save, and then you're going to put your file path or wherever you want to save the file and name it whatever you want. And you're going to change the format from TGA to PNG, and the image size 1920 by 1080 is perfectly fine. Then click Export. So here's where we actually get to the creative part of making the overall thumbnail come together. This includes the background and the text. So in Photoshop, we're just going to open up the file that you just saved, and we're going to use the magic eraser tool to erase the green screen behind the model. Then we're going to go ahead and add the stripes for the background. This will be provided in the description, so just download it from there. Just drag and drop it into the workspace. Then we'll stretch it out to fit the frame, and we're going to put it behind the model. From here, I'm going to go ahead and turn off the stripes and add a gradient. You can pick whatever colors you want for your gradient, it doesn't matter. This is what I use for this specific thumbnail. Next, we're going to go ahead and move the stripes back up to where it's on top of the gradient, and we're going to lower the opacity down to about 14. The opacity can be whatever you want, just as long as it's fairly visible. Finally, we're going to add the text, which is going to be behind the model. I'm going to be using Babus, or Babos, whatever the f it's called. And you can download this from the description below as well. All you do is just adjust it to your liking, make it big, large, nice, and juicy, and essentially you don't even have to use this font if you want to. Just use whatever font you like. But this is how I got mine positioned. Next, we're going to go ahead and add some stroke to the text, so that way it's nice and pretty. So make sure that you do this. If you don't, then your thumbnail is going to look like trash. I'm just kidding, it's just going to look really dull. So make sure you include it. Now we're just going to copy the layer style and paste it on all the other text, and that's it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll be sure to make more tutorials. My next video is going to probably be over another model tutorial, or it's going to be how to do RussianBadger transitions. If you'd like to, you can check out my other channel, which almost is at 1K, so you can help me hit 1K there, or you can subscribe here for more tutorials. Peace out, guys. Have a good day.